Hello friends, I hope you're doing well. Happy New Year, happy 2023. That is so crazy to say. I feel like it was just yesterday that I started making YouTube videos on this channel years ago. What was it, like 2012 maybe? And then I know I was making some on another channel before that. So time truly flies, but I'm so happy to be back here on this channel. And I'd like to say that this year is like the official relaunch of this YouTube channel with the new name, This Love Journey, where we're seeking to learn to grow in a love for God, for others, and even for ourselves in a healthy way. So welcome back to This Love Journey, where we're learning to love because He first loved us. Alright, so to hop into this video, I feel it would only be appropriate to start off this new year with sharing with you all some of my resolutions for 2023. Now I know a lot of people, some people are like, oh, I'm not really into the whole resolutions thing. You know, sometimes you can set yourself up for failure, or it's just like, you know, just live your life, just try to do better. But I do think it's nice to have some specific goals in mind. There's a quote that says, success in any line demands a definite aim. So I wanted to have some definite aims in mind this year, but I also wanted to make sure that they were SMART goals. Now some of you may have heard this term. Basically SMART goals, it's an acronym, SMART. So I'll put it right here. S stands for specific. So you have to have something specific in mind to attain to. M stands for measurable, something that you could actually gauge and see if you're reaching that goal. A means attainable or achievable. It has to be something that you can practically accomplish, you know what I mean? R means relevant. It needs to be relevant to your life. Like why does this relate to you? Why is it important for you? It would be kind of weird for me to have a goal of, you know, I want to ace a nursing exam, and it's like, well, you're not in a nursing course, that's not what you want to do in life, so why would that be your goal? That's kind of extreme, but you get my drift. And then T stands for time-based, meaning when do you want to reach this goal by? So it's not just a goal that's up in the air like, oh, at some point I want to do that. You actually have a time frame of when you want to accomplish it. So what I did for my goals, I prayed over them and had some thoughts in mind of how I want to grow in this year, and I figured I could have some broad resolutions, which I think almost everyone has, and I made them, the resolutions, in these categories: physical, mental, spiritual, social, financial, in my business, in my ministry, and in my home life, in no specific order. But I want to grow in every area that I just listed, and I think most people do. So those are my broad resolutions, you know? And within each category, I made 2 specific goals to help me attain to that resolution. And I'll share those with you now. So in the physical category, this is a big category for me because the past few years, I was dealing with some health issues and I didn't know the cause. And, you know, before getting married and everything, my husband is like the sweetest gift to me besides like Christ and salvation itself. Sweetest gift to me. He has helped me so much to grow in every way. But before him and all that time, I was dealing with a lot of chronic stress. And I didn't really know how to handle that in a healthy way. Even though I'm a Christian and I walk with God, that was an area I really had to learn how to grow in. I'm still learning, and how to surrender a lot to God to help me with stress. And so anyways, that wreaked a lot of havoc on my body, and I have what is called a uterine fibroid, and it's basically a benign tumor. Thank God it's benign, but it's pretty big. It's like orange grapefruit size, and it can wreak a lot of havoc on your body, on your health, drain you of iron, weight gain, etc., fatigue, pain, all of which I've dealt with, and it all caught up with me and has just been growing and growing, and I've noticed it even more recently. So thank God I was able to figure out what it was, and I'm doing a natural healing program right now, and I'm documenting that, and I hope I can share bits of that with you after. Prayerfully it goes really, really well. I have faith that it will. If not, I may have to do surgery, which is okay too. But basically, all that to say, my physical health is like, I want to get this under control, as well as my mental health, which will play a part too, which we'll get to. So the 2 goals in the physical section would be daily exercise. That's could be just walking, just some good movement outside of my regular day-to-day tasks and duties. And that's the first goal. And to make that more like measurable, specific, etc., etc., I would aim for 30 minutes a day. And that could be outside, it can be inside. I of course would aim for outside because you can get that fresh air and so forth. But that's one simple goal that's very specific, like daily exercise. Number 2 is going to bed on time. Going to bed on time makes such a difference with your health. You would be amazed what just sleep can do for you. And I want to do a lot better in that area. My husband and I, we've been traveling a lot the past couple years. We've been married about like a little over a year and a half, but we have traveled so much already, work related, ministry related, and it's a blessing, but it can wreak havoc on your body and your sleep cycle. So that's an area that we're seeking to improve in. For me to be more specific, ideally would be getting to bed at 9:30 every night, even earlier if possible, but definitely before 10. But my goal is 9:30, so yeah. Second resolution, growing mentally / emotionally. Mental health is such an important thing that we should never neglect. Even Jesus, when he healed, he didn't just focus on physical healing, he focused also on the mental healing and of course spiritual healing. So I want to make sure that I'm taking care of that part of my life as well. And 2 specific and simple goals to help me grow in that area is to do daily stretching. So just stretching every day. There was a point when I was going through some chronic stress that I was like, I remember posting on my social media like, I'm gonna do some yoga. And I know some people were like, be careful like with yoga, as a Christian, spiritualism and getting into that realm is not good. And for me at the time I was like, well, I think I'm not doing all that extra stuff, I'm really just doing the stretches. But going forward in time later, I realized like yoga itself, especially if you're doing like a whole like full yoga routine, at least from what I've studied, I actually do want to stay away from that. I never wanted to do like the other aspects of it that's more like not really in harmony with Christianity. So disclaimer, I'm not promoting yoga and that whole type of ritualistic thing, but just stretching. So I can go on YouTube and find some really awesome stretching routines. My health coach has shared stretching routine with me as well, and it's been a blessing. It really helps you to calm down and to relax and to let go of some stress, just to stretch out your body. We tend to hold a lot of stress in our muscles, so yes. The second goal is to finish at least one self-help book, specifically a Christian self-help book. Right now I'm finishing the book Telling Yourself the Truth. I've had this book for years and I never finished it. I read a lot of it, so I'm starting over and I'm going through it, and it's already such a blessing, talking about like how to have control over your mindset and replacing lies from the devil and misbeliefs with the truth, and that helps so much with mental health. So those are my 2 goals. All right, the spiritual area, I would say this is like most important, but I know all of these weave into each other in some way. Again, no specific order, but in the spiritual section of wanting to grow, I have 2 goals. One is to increase my scripture memorization. And so for that, my goal, again, very doable goal, is 1 verse / passage per month. That, I know I could do way more than that, but I'm just starting off there, like 1 a month. If not just a simple verse, like more of a passage that I want to commit to memory. And something my husband and I, we liked doing, especially in the beginning of our marriage when we're getting back into it, is during worship, sharing the verses that we're committing to memory with each other and testing each other, which is pretty cool. So we like to do that in our family worship time, and we're getting back to that. And number 2 is hymn memorization. Friends, music plays such a powerful role in our lives, and I have kind of gone back and forth, like trying to figure out like what type of music is best for Christians and so forth. And again, during a very stressful time of my life, I was so stressed. It was a pretty dark time. I started to like experiment with different types of Christian music, and I'm not condemning anyone. I started just listening to other types of Christian music that I wasn't really into at that time, or like a little bit before that, but it was like I needed something to just help me emotionally because it was so much I was going through at once. And so I think I was turning to music to help give me a boost of joy and energy that was so hard for me at the time to grasp hold of. But I've come to realize that hymns are so beautiful, and they have so much, to me, so much more depth, and prepare my heart for worship, for one-on-one time with God that's not just emotionally driven, but that is like promotes a spirit of devotion. And I find now when I sing a hymn that my soul really comes more at peace than if I'm just singing maybe a popular modern contemporary Christian song. And I'm not condemning anyone that listens to those types of genres of Christian music, but I realized for me, I like to go more in the calmer area of music that encourages more of a sincere, calming, still joy-filled spirit of devotion, if that makes sense. That's a whole other topic, but I've just become more and more in love with hymns. And there are modern hymns as well. It's just like a style of how they're written. And my husband and I started doing this challenge where we're memorizing hymns together during family worship as well. And once we memorize one, then we learn a new one. So my goal is to learn at least one per month. Okay, the social area. I want to grow socially. So what does that look like? I have two goals. One is I want to make sure I help at least one friend to come closer to Jesus, to know Jesus. Just a person in general, it doesn't have to be a friend I already have. And by God's grace, I'm already being blessed, like to do Bible study with a good friend of mine, so that's awesome, and helping them in their walk with God. And if I can get at least one more this year, that would be a privilege and an honor, just to share with someone how much Jesus loves them and how they can grow in their walk with him. And maybe that includes sharing with you all too, but that's a goal that I have. And secondly, in the social area, I want to make sure that I call at least one family member, friend every week. Just one. I definitely am more introverted. I'm not necessarily a phone person where I like to just talk to people on the phone all the time. Like, that's totally not me. I rather probably text, because as an introvert, I don't know, maybe it's more draining, like being on the phone all the time, or rather see you in person. But I realize the importance, especially as I get older, of keeping in touch with family and friends and valuing those relationships that we've been blessed with. So just one per week, minimum. The next area is the financial area, and two goals I have for that is to save a certain amount of money. My husband and I, we're still specifying how much we want to save this year, but that's a goal, and I'll have to write that down for my records. And then number two is to strictly stick to our budget. And so I use Every Dollar. I use that app by Dave Ramsey, and we plan out our budget, and our goal is to really stick strictly to that. In my business category, so some of you may know, or if you're new here, you may not know, I have an online thrift boutique, and it's called This Love Journey Boutique, and I have a website, and I'll be launching that by the end of January. So you can follow me on my business Instagram page, thislovejourney.boutique, for updates on that, and keep an eye on the website as well. It's just thislovejourney.com. And I'm also a reseller outside of that, where I sell things on like Poshmark and eBay that I find at thrift stores or garage sales, estate sales, etc., etc. And so my goal is to have, my two goals are to have at least one drop or collection every month, which is where I share a collection on my boutique website of a curated, themed collection of thrifted, modest, beautiful clothing and home goods sometimes as well, at least one a month. And then also I want to list at least 5 items a week for my Poshmark, eBay stores as well. In my ministry category, I want to make and publish at least one video a month, at least one a month. I would love to do like 2 a month, even more, like 1 a week would be so cool, but we're gonna start small, despise not small beginnings, and build our way up. And also I would like to do at least 1 blog post a month. So I like sharing, I like talking, I like details and elaborating, but sometimes that makes for long videos, which this one might be, sorry. But I can share a lot of thoughts in the blog post with resources, and we can engage through comments there too. So I would like to have a good blog, which I used to have years ago, which I loved doing when this ministry was called Hem of His Garment. I loved making blog posts, so I'm excited to get back into that at least once a month. And the last area is my home life, which I want to grow in. And you know, I'm a wife and I'm a reseller, and I have my own business that I'm doing, but before that business is for me to make sure I'm running the business of our home. I've been blessed to be a homemaker, the keeper of our home, and I want to grow in this realm especially. And one area is this year, we're in an apartment right now. We're praying that the Lord will bless us with a beautiful country home someday soon. But while we're here, we have a balcony, and I want to have a really nice balcony garden, a container garden, so we have plant pots and such. So that's a goal for this year. And also, I want to really establish and confirm a good cooking and cleaning routine. So after last year, I made a routine and it worked pretty well, but I think I can make it better. So I want to redo my homemaking routine, if you will, my cooking and cleaning routine, to make it a bit easier and something I can be really consistent with and stick to. So friends, those are my resolutions and my goals for 2023. What are some of your goals? Please share down below. And I know that I can't do this in my own strength. I know that I can do all things through Christ, and He can give me that strength, and He will give me that strength if I come to Him for it, if I surrender and look to Him. Also, I'm reminding myself and you to be kind with yourself. Take things step by step, day by day, moment by moment. And if you can't get everything done, it's okay to save it for tomorrow or for the next day, but just keep going forward. Try not to go backwards. And if you do, we have a wonderful, loving Savior who is so merciful to us, who will help us to redeem the time. So I hope that was a blessing to you. Again, I would love to hear your goals down below, your resolutions, your specific goals, and how you plan on reaching them. And I guess we can help each other with those. And I look forward to making more videos. I already have a list of all the videos I've planned. I've planned out videos. I have to show you here. You can kind of see the lighting, and I hope that there will be an encouragement and a blessing to you on your journey and just growing in your love for God and for those around you and even for yourself. So God bless you all. Have a great day, and Lord willing, I'll see you soon. Bye.